Welcome back, everybody. Let's do a check real quick, make sure we are actually connected. It looks like we are. It says we have an excellent connection. We'll see if this holds up. All right, so what we are going to do on this live stream, if anybody even shows up to watch, hey, up to you. I was bored. I have been meaning forever to build a Voron, like we all want. We all want a Voron. If you're one of the tinkerers, you want a Voron or Voron-esque Core XY style printer. Last year I haven't had the time. Previous to that, didn't have the money. Right now, don't have the money. They are expensive. Yeah, it's even a kit is ridiculously expensive. So what we're going to do is take apart a previous printer that I built. Actually, the first printer that I designed and built. It worked. It worked fine. I used it quite a bit. It's just been sitting off to the side. It is going to be shocking when you see it. You can kind of see some of it over here. It's big. It was a real pain getting in this room. It was a pain moving into this place with it. Part of the reason, you'll see. But we've got specific goals we're going to break up into different videos. Specifically on this one, we're just going to rip apart this old printer and just collect all the parts and get a rough idea of what we have. And then the next video we'll go over really detail on the parts, figuring out what we can build with it as a Voron. Because the goal here is going to be as much of a Voron as possible with as least money as possible. Of course, we all know, like everything on this channel, this will be a mistake. Yeah, this is going to be bad. But hey, I've got some parts. I don't have the money. We'll get into it. So as you can see on the screen, the goals are pretty simple. I'm fully expecting right here at the end of it to go right back to the beginning and start over, cry. But so let's get over to it. I'm gonna go over to this other little camera we have, and I'll show you what we got, and we'll just start ripping this thing apart. All right, looks like you can hear me, and we'll move over to the side. It's going to change. Hopefully the microphone gets a little better, not too bad. Move my drink over because this is going to be long. Yes. So, if anybody else is having a good Tuesday night, is it Tuesday? I believe it is Tuesday. Oh, we got some frame drop and encoding lag. Interesting. It's just on the scene change. But it seems to have gone away. Alright, but the network's holding, so I did a short test earlier. Okay, so this monstrosity, it's huge. Let's actually go over to side cam. Hey, we got it all in one shot. This monstrosity I call my triple X3. It's huge. It was the second printer I owned. No, sorry. Third printer I owned. First one that I designed and built myself. It is, when I say designed, it is pretty much generic parts off of Thingiverse. Things wasn't around. To give you some idea how old this is, Voron kits didn't exist at the time. Core XYs were there were a couple. There was definitely nothing commercial. There were a couple of projects. Actually, right about the time I started on this, the H drive system was people were getting interested into. So, my second printer was a Tronxy X3, which is over here, and I'm not going to pick up because it's fragile. Tronxy, Tron XY, another one of those cheap design printers. It was the second. The first was a Tronxy P802 direct drive. It was $100 on eBay. Did it print? Yes, it did. Did it print good? I mean, if you went at like 30 millimeters a second, we're talking an acrylic frame. The noisiest of stepper drivers, controllers. It was just... It would sing. It was R2D2 sitting in the corner, just making tons of obscene noises. It took forever. It was also to get it any what any a bit of quality out of those acrylic frames. You had so many braces that you printed. You were always working on those printers. Be glad you don't have to deal with that today. It was horrible. It'd print fine, and then it would completely fall apart. This is the first auto bed leveling sensors were coming out. BL Touch, I remember, was brand spanking new. Brand spanking new. Like, yeah. This was a while back. You've missed a bit. So the goal of that when I built it was, for one, to pretty much just scale up the X3. And then I took all the parts off of my P802. And now that we can see it from over here, we'll go back to the tripod camera so you're right on the back of my ugly head. There we go. Yeah, you got a little version of me. The goal was, there were a plethora of parts on Thingiverse for the X3, pretty much, or that would work on it. So the goal was, and especially with almost no money, which it did end up costing a bit, was to scale up that printer into something that was 300 by 300. Ideally, it was eventually going to be taller. As you can see, I never finished that. And then again, it was like, why? I remember thinking, we should just go belt. This would be stupid. I don't know, more stupid than this, but you know. So it's pretty piecemeal together of different parts. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, look at this. And also, knowing me, and if any of you have watched these videos, know I was going to screw up. Yeah, this did take a bit to get together and working. But it did print. It actually printed really, really great once it went. Takes up way too much space. I did not want to cut any of the 2020. This stuff was so expensive and so hard to get at the time that I did this. It was not like it is now, where you could just order it off of eBay, Amazon, AliExpress. It was a little bit of a pain, and it was ridiculously expensive. And I did not want to just cut it up and then realized, oh boy, we're done. So I was like, well, you know, bed slingers were the thing at the time. We'll just make a big bed slinger, and we'll see if it works. And it worked. Give you an example. Can we break that? Ow, if you think that was loud for you, that was loud for me. We printed these on here. Oh, yeah, he's got it. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. So these little Buddhas, I modified them. Let's see if I can get the base. All right. I mean, that it ended up in the parts bucket. Not really. So, this is a Tinker, or a Thingiverse model. That I took into Tinkercad, just made a little slit in the back to put an LED strip, and then a base that is also on there that I threw a little bit of a design on. Modified the inside, hold an ESP32. There's a video on it. Sorry, a little spot for the strip there. And, whoop. Yeah, I don't know why I never put this one together, but yeah, there we have it. So these were printed on there, in PETG, super slow. These guys would take about 12 hours, I think it was about 12 hours. I'm living in a loft. It's very just open, exposed to AC unit. Yeah, it was a real pain. But they printed fine. Actually, great. I have 3 or 4 of these. I can't believe I only have one in here. The rest are in the living room, the bedroom, the bathrooms, and all the others have LEDs in them. Yeah, get that. We have some little LED stuff in here in the studio, when everything else, all the LEDs in the other room, you go to every other channel and all their LEDs are in the studio. We'll get there eventually. So, the basics of it. It's 2020 V, 300 by 300. Go ahead and pull these off. Lordy. Give you some idea how old this was. We were just getting flex plates. That was a FiSec. Yeah. don't think it's, no, I thought it might be textured on one side. No, no, that's dust. That's literally just dust that's stuck to it. An old glue stick. That's what we did back in the day. This was literally, I think pre-textured build plate. These were some of the first. I think I got this cheap because we were like, they had just come out, and that one was, it's worked great though. Let's see. Yeah, 300 heat bed. Everything on this printer is 12 volt. Yeah, right. Yeah, everything's 24 volt or higher nowadays. Yeah, first printer I got was 12. The majority at the time of them were 12. I already had a bunch of parts that were 12, so I was like, well, let's just keep it 12. And as you know, that is a bad idea. Oh yeah, that came all scratched up. 24 volts better. The higher voltage you can go is always better. It means your wires could be smaller, but it prints fine. At 12 volts, this was a real pain to get to heat up. It does take a minute, but it printed. I don't think we're going to print anything extreme on here, so at 300 by 300, it should be fine for a Moron bed. We're going to have to clean up these corners a bit. And obviously it's going to require some design changes because that is not the bed that goes in a Moron. I mean, look how thin this thing is. Is it going to warp some? Yeah, it's going to warp. We'll see what we can do about it. But that's... Yeah, I wanted a 300 by 300. And how many times have I printed 300 by 300? I don't think once, maybe. But we'll convert this into this Moron style Core XY. And maybe we'll do some multi-board on it. So, yeah, 12 volt heater, super long belts, knockoff E3D V3, I think it was. The knockoff BL Touch. That came way down the road. Yeah, it came way down the road. This thing originally had a inductive and capacitive sensor. I tried both. Both of those sucked. Be glad you missed that too. One of the old screens. Look at this. SD card. Huh. I not even know this was in here. I've been looking for SD cards. And what is this? 128 meg. That's going to save me so many problems. Incredibly hard to find nowadays. So we probably won't use this screen. We do have a bunch of others. I have drawers of parts. Big old 12 volt, 30 amp power supply should be fine. 360 watts. If not, we'll get some more. We'll probably end up doing 2 power supplies like a Moron as well. One for the bed, one for everything else. Especially since it's 12. It does have dual motors. Is there a name on these? Let's see if I can get in there without losing my pants. They're Tron XY branded motors. So, not the best, but we'll see what we can do. Singles. Look at this Bowden tube. That was another thing on this. This was originally, let's just get it to work, and it worked. And ideally, this was going to become a 2-color printer. See what happens when you start building printers? Oh, it's so much easier now. The extruders we're going to relocate to up here at the top, which is why these overhangs were up there. Because I wanted to be able to go all the way to the top and then have the extruder motors out here, and then probably somehow have the spools off to the side like big old Mickey Mouse ears. So then it could be a 2-color, dual color extruding printer. Never happened. What do we have for control board? It's a Big Tree Tech SKR version 1.4. 1.4T. I don't know. It's upside down. Oh, that was the control board. I'm not sure what steppers are on there. I know they're definitely a step above 4988. I do have the Wi-Fi card on it. This should be fine for us. Plenty of extra fans. Yeah, spool holder. I mean, all these parts are just going to go in the garbage. So I guess let's just get to it. Start ripping it apart. Yeah. So we're ripping it apart. I will, if I have any memories or trauma, there was a bit of trauma on this guy. So, all right, and it says we've skipped a couple of frames due to encoding lag. Well, that's interesting because it's a brand new video card. something else going on in the background. Let's see. Hard drive light ain't going too crazy. Well, we'll go with it. It's better than before. The network's still going. We're just going to drop a couple frames. And if you come in and I don't see you for a minute, my apologies, but it's over here behind me. So we're just going to start taking screws out. I guess let's start here. Disconnect the heat bed. Yeah. This thing was such a bad idea. It was fun though. It hurts a little to go down in the number printers. Take my number down. Because we all know N+1 is the correct. This will be N-1. But something better will come out of it. Actually, I remember specifically what I built this printer for. So, I currently, not this week, but for the last 20 plus years, work in the entertainment and production industry. I've worked pretty much every position, and by that I mean concerts, small concerts, 500 cap, 2,000 cap, arena size tours, boring corporate events, theater, circus, plenty of church stuff, you name it. If there's a cable to be plugged in and there's lights and audio or video of any shape of that, I've done it. And that includes every position from, just pushing cases, to being the front of house audio guy, to being the lighting designer, to being the master electrician, which is completely different from a real electrician. Same risk of dying, though. Rigger, up and down rigger. Any of you work in the industry, these are all terms you know. These are all positions. Everything but a cart. Catering. Yeah, not officially catering. So, the way I got into 3D printing was, at the time, these are pretty common now. You can find them everywhere, including AliExpress. When you're running XLR cables or DMX cables, which is pretty much the same thing, different impedance cable for lighting. Nowadays, commonly, instead of just running 4 individual cables, you can run a quad ether snake or cat snake. There's a million different names for them, but it is basically 4 XLR jacks that connect in a box to a Ethernet jack, and we just dropped our screw. And then another box that has 4 of the opposite side jacks, male on one side, female on the other, and then you just connect a regular Cat5 Ethernet cable, and you could run 4 signals all the way, 300 feet, with no real signal loss over 1 cable. Pretty common nowadays. You can get these boxes cheap. At the time, to buy one of these boxes, because like 2 people made them, was about $150 a piece. Plastic, which to me was just mind-blowing. There's no electronics in this. It is literally 5 jacks. 5 jacks that would fit in a rack panel, in any IT closet, not closet, you name it, anywhere, AV rack. It's not worth that money. And I was like, well, I could try and build one. And I looked around, get the parts, maybe some electrical pancake boxes, that kind of stuff. Oh, hey, Hawk. Oh, sorry. Havoc 3D. Howdy, how you doing? Seen you around. Probably the Creality streams. And that was ridiculous. Hope the mic's working okay. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I've got this. We're making a Moron. Didn't you see the title? We're going to rip this mistake down, which was the first printer ever designed-ish, just in a goal to have a 300 by 300. And since you're here, I'll recap. The reason it is so big is, at the time I was too poor. I was not going to cut up 2020 extrusion just to make a huge mistake and be like, okay, we'll go with it. And it printed. You can scroll back and see that if you want. Back to what I was saying. No, we covered that. The reason I got into 3D printing was, so you're talking about $300 just to buy those. To build them, I looked at building my own, which just came into, well, you're going to spend almost like $200 reinventing the wheel. And then I got on eBay, and at this point, a P802 was $100, and I said, hey, there we go. And do I still have them? I think I threw them away. I think I finally threw them away. I designed the boxes and everything on Tinkercad. It was my first project, and they were just little quad box like this big that just had 4 XLR jacks on the front and then the Cat 5 on the side. I'm pretty sure I threw those away pretty recently because I was just like, we're never going to use. I've never put those together. And you can buy those boxes now for $15, $12. I know recently at the last venue I worked at, I bought some from AliExpress. I think it was like $25 for 2 little bitty compact ones that were just absolutely perfect. So that is how I got into 3D printing, and the modeling and all that. A project that we never finished. So we're gonna rip this guy apart and turn him into mostly a Moron with as few parts as possible that we have to buy. It's not going to be exact. It may print, it may not, but heck, we got the parts here. What do we see here? Hot zone, do not, I'm touching it. Still hot after hotbed V0. Yeah, and this is from the days of when printers were catching on fire. This is these old weak connections. Sorry, over here, wrong camera. I'm holding it to a microphone like you can hear it. Man, Lordy, old. So that is that. Corkboard, garbage. Why? Why was there corkboard? Well, because it melted. As you can see, this is my own design of a monstrosity of this. Was it a spider? It was an early core slinger, bed slinger. I took the plate, used the arms, split it up, cut the center out, made my own center, split it apart. These are somebody else's design, and then hobbled all this together. Is it ugly? Oh my God, it's ugly. Did it work? Yes. Would it print fast? No. I mean, gosh, wheels. But so many parts. But then once again, this is in the days. This stuff was all new. So let's go ahead and get this out. Trays. I don't think we going to need those again, but we will put all this stuff in the parts bucket. You ain't got one, you need one. This is your bucket of oh shits. I don't need this now, but it's someday. Raspberry Pi case. Nope, didn't break. Get that out of here. Get out of here. Quite honestly, I'm surprised this thing is still got the nuts on it. Really just glad to get the space back. I guess we'll start using our new little silicone mat holder. Ugh. That in there. So many parts. And also, I will say that the goal at the time was to have a 300 by 300 printer. I did reach that. Did it cost less than buying one at the time? Oh yeah, it was still way cheaper than buying one. Way cheaper. Nowadays, that's questionable. You know, I haven't really looked at the prices. The last I see is usually like Nuke Realities, Soval streams, where they're talking about the new printers, and those are all in the like what $500 range. This definitely was cheaper than that. Doesn't print as good. All right. Oh yeah, we'll get these guys out of here. that out of there. Get this guy out of here. The amount of times I went to Home Depot for this guy, because you just could not get parts like you can nowadays. There we go. Pop out. Let it out. Go. Get these out of here. Save those for some disassembly later. Get us some hydration. Man. What's going to hurt? Oh, I don't pull this guy out. Actually fell off and broke when I was trying to bring this in the room. It wouldn't fit through the door. I don't know where that piece of plastic just there it is. Don't want to sit on it, step on it, crawl on it, put her knee on it. I think I'll break this off. Good power supply. Save as many screws as we can. This bracket, oh, it's broken, going in the garbage. I think, honestly, I have most of the parts. I think we have most of the parts. Not just in with this printer, but in the over here. There's multiple drawers of old parts. We'll go through that. The next one. I think we have just about everything. To get a mostly functioning printer. It's a long piece of belt. And this was a decent belt too. Remember, it's not a name brand, but it's the non-stretching. Let's see. Did we grab the right size? Oh. Is it you? New set. Nope. You know, I have a screw right here. I don't know why I'm reaching over the hard way. There we go. Okay. Swore I tried that one. Ain't one of those fancy electrics. That definitely helped. Washer. Screw. We're gonna have to flip the guy over a couple times, or the girl actually. I don't know. Kind of feels like a very masculine printer. Oh, it's all red. So glad to get this out of the way because it's just been taking up space. And I actually need this table. Actually, I need the table that's over here. It's got two printers on it to put the laser cutter on. It's hanging up over there. Put these on top, this on there, that'll slide under there, and it's all nice and tight. And then I can actually get to my shelf. Alright, so there's the front. Let's go ahead and take these off. Alright, get there. Ooh, lost my bit. Two. Come on, span, span. You're so close. So close. There we go. There we go. There, I gotcha. A bunch of little parts break apart. Oh. Bang it. Come on. Come on. Just a little too tight. Let's go back in. Respect my authority. There we go. Oh, just lost the whole thing. I brought you into this world. I can take you out. And I'm going to take you out. That's what we're doing. Oh. 40. This is going to be garbage. All right. All right, all right, all right. Let's go ahead and pull these cables out. As roughly, as rudely as we can. Let's not pay attention at all where anything hooked up. Shouldn't matter in the future. Ooh. Jeez. Down to cables. There we go. All of it. How? Oh. Good thing you have auto bed leveling. Alright, all those wires are free. Now I know we got Akbal 34. How you doing? Oh, that's gonna be flat. That looks like it will work. Yeah, exactly. Oh man, yeah. Backstory, it's previously in the stream. Old printer that I built that I did not want to cut up the first time I designed and built my own printer. We're talking this is an acrylic days. I didn't want to screw it up. So it's been sent to the side, 300 by 300. We're going to rip it apart and build a Moron, which is going to be a mostly Moron out of these parts, which will probably be crap. So I'll try and keep an eye on you over there, but Chet is over here behind me. This was back in the day. Completely impractical, but it worked. Any of this stuff will print. And the garbage. There. Oh yeah, we were cutting these power cables out. Go. Wire is free. You know, normally we try to avoid that when we're working on 3D printers, the snapping noise, but that was actually very emotionally satisfying. The fact that this, I'm really getting into embracing less is more. I lived in an RV for a while, and you get real nice, be like, oh, I cook here. And then my desk is here. And my pooper's here. And my bed's here. And then going to a loft that just got filled with possessions that, well, while it's some cool stuff, don't need it. Give you some idea. This desk, someone threw out. This lamp, which is like a really nice architect's lamp, someone threw out. This stamp here, someone threw out. This microphone, someone threw out. That monitor that I'm looking at, someone threw out. This face light, someone threw out. This, someone threw out. 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 The printer. Actually, 2 of those printers. Someone threw out. Yeah. My chair. Someone threw out. There's just so much stuff. Place just filled up. So I've been slowly embracing just getting rid of things. I'm like, I don't use it. I don't need it. It was a pain in the butt to move. There were some real pain points. I threw out a classic Lazy Boy. Oh, pea green. So ugly. Pea green and brown. So ugly, but it's a Lazy Boy. It was collector's. I threw out a $700 lamp made out of acrylic that was shaped like a lamp. I don't know who needs that, but apparently someone needed an acrylic lamp. It's designer. Yeah, I know there are more things in here. Yeah, so much stuff, basically. Filled up that loft. But you end up just start collecting things. So I'm like, nah, I don't need it. Let's get rid of it. Less is more. Some friends got some stuff. The rest of it just threw it away. Some of it just left out on the curb for the next neighbor to get. Paid it forward. Oh, there is something holding that on. Just want to keep the screws from falling out. Why is that one so? Yeah. Set that there. Whew. Next thing. Get as much wiring out of the way as possible. That is what we're probably going to destroy in the process. All by myself. Well, I just recently found out, I haven't been streaming or doing anything for almost a year, that StreamBeats is now commercial. So I don't have any background music. I'll have to find some kind of ambient, random music maker that just goes in the background so I can't be hit with a copyright strike. Like I can on any of this being monetized, but you know, nice to have your options open. Data cables out of here. Still connected. Yeah, of course we are. Wow, this thing is so old. We have MOSFETs. Yeah. Wow, I just had a flashback. Coffee is off of here. Showing to you guys. Wow. I totally forgot about that. Wires out here. All right. So, external MOSFET. I don't know if that camera actually looks better than this camera. Better? Yeah, there we go. External MOSFET. Back in the day. You don't really see these much. We will definitely use these on this Moron because this, back before everything went to 24 volt, this was your only way of really dealing with this was your weak point that was burning out on all the controller boards and also failing. And when they failed in a closed state, and your heat bed would run away, and then the pin connectors solder would melt off, and then all of a sudden you have a moving bed slinger on fire with the bed that's slinging on fire. Although, 40 milliseconds, 40 millimeters a second at the time, still it's something to wake up to. Never happened to me. Let's get this guy out of the way. Amazing how quick they come apart. They take weeks and weeks and months to put together, and then they just come apart in a matter of hours. They've been in production the same way. It's been a week putting together a show, have the show, and you've got it on the truck and on to the next city in a matter of hours. Hopefully, that's the goal. If that didn't happen, something went wrong. Or the truck broke down. This guy right here, Lordy. So many pieces have just worked themselves loose over the years. That's stuck. That's stuck. Alright, we'll get it here. Oh, Lordy. This is where it's going to be fun. Some of these I can only get in with an actual Allen key. Grab the right one right off the bat. We will drop it. Those are the rules. Oh. I can't see. I need to make me taller. There we go. Hey, we got it. Ooh. Probably one of the worst designs about this is that I did have caps up here on the end, but it's always catching my head almost. It's going to be a pain to get those tight ones. Oh no, they're all loose. They're all loose. Some back tensioners here. This cable out of here. Okay. Can we get the top off? Down for now. Yeah. You almost lost an eye. Yeah, it's different size. Course. was a piece of extrusion I had to cut down. That one and this one, I still had the pieces actually. And then the front and the back were actually one of these cut directly in half. So that is what really determined the dimensions of this printer, was as few cuts as possible. So that was 3 total. That also means that going with the Moron that we're going to build, these will definitely be a side or a front. Since this is our length. Probably what's going to happen is one of these will get cut in half. We'll make a perfect square. Pretty much everything going to get cut in half because that's what we got to work with. We don't really have any extra. If we do need to buy some extra 2020 extrusion, we will, but the goal is to avoid it. Because, as I stated in the beginning, this is probably a mistake. Right. Some wires out of there. The amount of times, you'll see when I get the top off, the amount of times I've run into either this guy, because he's hanging off the side, it could have gone a little further on the inside, but it worked. Ran into this guy, or the end of this, and the belt tensioner's over there. That was the other reason for this design constraint, was besides being the first off dual motor, dual color, single extruder, and then expanded over into an IDEX, I wanted to have enough room to park the actual, oh lord, that guy's tight. That was real tight. Extruder off to the side where the second one could work. Once again, never happened. Alright, so there is that. Let's disconnect threaded rods. Okay, it's free. Ooh, free. Let's not break it. Oh, caught. Yeah, we're caught. The LED lights that we never got completely installed either. You can see hold on with gaff tape. Well, use those. Maybe. We might. I don't know. These are pretty far spaced out. These are actually off of broken rental scooter. We had Scooter Apocalypse. What year was that? And that make you feel old. Was this pre-COVID or post-COVID? Was it pre-9/11 or post-9/11? Was it pre-Columbia Challenger? Columbia? I can't remember. It's before or after this disaster. Just remember that, kids. As you get older, you start to remember either life is divided into this is when something major, positive, good happened, or oh yeah, I remember that's when the market crashed and everybody went homeless. I just remember the IT industry collapsed and we lost everything. Oh, that's yep. I don't remember. I really don't remember. I think this was all pre. Had to be pre. Had to be pre. That's why it's hard to remember, because it was pre-COVID, and I got long COVID pretty hard. If any of you are familiar with Physics Girl, I was pretty much in that condition, nowhere as long, and I never made it to the hospital because I couldn't afford to go to the hospital. And I saw what she was going through, and I'm like, well, there's nothing they can do for me. I will just lay here in bed and suffer, and maybe I'll feel better tomorrow. And I never felt better tomorrow. Alright, let's see this guy come out. Missed him. Alright, so now we to the point, now we need to pop the extruder loose. At least the Bowden cable. Get rid of that. If it's gonna come out. No. It's not. It's not. Alright, come on. Hey, it still has filament in it. What do we got? Ooh. That is a gold silk PLA. It is probably... I know, over 5 years old. Let's see what happens. Wow, look at that. Who would imagine that? I mean, granted, it was inside the Bowden tube, but that's been sitting exposed for at least 5 years. At least 5 years. Yeah. It's not there. It's not there. Yeah, as we get closer to the end. That's still really surprising. No. No. Gold. There we go. Alright, so now we should be able to pull this guy off. Let's go roll him up. Take these power cables. Get this up without knocking anything off. Go. Ooh, lordy. Lay that there for now. Rivet rods, which are covered in grease. Oh, lordy. I forgot about those days too. Yeah. Anti-sagging for your thread rods. Oh, darn, I did it again. And that time the spring shut up. There it is. Ooh, just broke something. Oh well. Oh well. We'll just pull this to the... Yeah, stick it down in here. Let's get the rest of this stuff out of the way, and then we can start breaking down this into its individual components. Let's get this nastiness off our hands and our arms, and probably my face. Is it on my face? Is it on my face? It's on my face, isn't it? Whew. Okay. Let's see. Will this piece of 2020 come out? No. Get this guy out of it. Let's get all of this out of here. Break it? No, we didn't break it. $40. So many clips. So many clips. MOSFET back in the day. Cable over there. Power jumper. I will say it's really surprising. All of this is PLA. None of this was, well, we didn't have PETG at the time. If we did, it was brand new. Everybody was PLA or ABS. I did print ABS on this. I did print ABS. It was tough. Making slurry, trying to get it to stick, everything warped. I think at that point people were just starting to, yeah, at that time the idea of a printed enclosure was stacking into IKEA shelves and putting the plexiglass on it, or a cardboard box with a blanket on top. Oh, lordy. So those are all loose. Oh, that one's separate. Okay. Who built this? This explains why. Actually, I looked the other day trying to get this end of the door in here, and I couldn't. And I couldn't figure out how to take it apart. Okay. Piece of extrusion. The other thing we're going to have to check is to see has any of this worked. Because this thing has kind of manhandled being moved around. I kind of want to. Can I? Filament out of there. Make a mess of anything? No. Hey. Oh, jeez. So big and useless. What were we talking about? Okay. That's what she said. Come out. Over there. Almost. Free? Is it free? Is it not free? There we go. As I stated earlier, the one thing that was really nice about designing and building this was these were all other people's parts off of Tinkercad. The one thing I learned not on this printer, but actually right before this printer, actually with this printer when it was still the P802 an acrylic frame and getting the X3. The thing that I got schooled on at that point quite a bit was also what convinced me to go ahead and take the P802 apart and turn it into this, was when you were, I guess it still applies. It definitely still applies. Ooh, I definitely saw that lag for a second. Caught it on screen. Dropped from 30 to 28. Still not too bad. Lovely Windows 10. When you have a printer and you find a part, a mod that you're going to put on your printer, the first one will usually work amazing. It's going to go on. It's going to print perfect. It just works. It works. And then you're going to add another, and probably that one's going to work. And then you're going to add a third, and you're going to get it on, and it's going to be like, oh, this fixes every problem. This is now going to do exactly what I want. We are getting past that with these now. Everybody developing these printers, which are so everything built in. I mean, but things like cooling, nozzle cleaning, adapters, all that kind of stuff that you're still end up going to use, works great. And then you get 3 of those parts together, and you're going to find out that now this part hits this part, and it doesn't work because of this, and the way those 2 parts were not designed as an ecosystem, I guess is the best word we're looking for, to work together. And now your tolerances don't fix. So now it is up to you to take somebody else's part and remix it, trying to make it work for just your little combination of parts. I guess I'll make a note of this and maybe look into this, or if you have any ideas. I keep looking over here, even though our main camera's over here, over there. Something that's really nice about the multi-board, Gridfinity, open board, is those ecosystems have, even though you see it some in the multi-board of how they had to go backwards, they've really planned forward thinking of how these parts fit together and work with everything, so that they don't end up stuck further down the road and having to regress back and start over. Much like why I put the goals at the beginning of this video, as one of the steps is to go right back to previous steps, because in any project, that is what happens. We are actually going to put a project manager together tonight just for this, so we can keep track of it. As a big important step for any of you who are going to like design or build anything, is, which I still have a big problem with, which is why I put up the server, is breaking it down into project pieces and steps. It can be very overwhelming, and you're also going to miss important parts just for the fact that you don't have it written down on a wall. I used to have a dry erase board. I used to have 2 dry erase boards. I wonder what happened to them. Must have thrown them out. So being able to see all that stuff and then visualize it in your head, because you can visualize it now, but it's going to be wrong. That's why it's called a vision. Getting that all work together. That's something I would say probably working in the entertainment industry has taught me. We all tend to use words. We all know what a chair is, but what is a chair? Does a chair have 4 legs? It has 3 legs. Is it one of those old 70s hippie chairs that's like a Z that you sit on your knees? What is a chair? So when you say to me that I'm going to have a stage that's covered in color or flowers, what does that mean? I'm sure in your mind that is a crystal clear vision of exactly what that event's going to be. But to me, I have no idea. And we can even be using the same words and have completely different visions of what it is. So part of my job is to make your vision as reality as possible with as few problems and cost, unless cost is no object, which is rare, but it does happen, to make that happen. And then I will bend over backwards within my abilities and the amount of money we have to work with and the time to make that happen as flawless and as seamless as possible for the people experiencing the event. Yeah. But unfortunately, that takes defining a lot of what are their goals, and not only is what is that goal, let's define the word in that goal to what it means. I thought we were done here, and we're not done. We're just at the beginning. So yeah, interesting. Never thought about how those two tied in, but I guess I'm learning project management skills from putting lights on people and making loud noises. Bright lights, loud noises, large groups of people. I think the term for that is autistic. I don't like any of that, but I'm good at it, supposedly. Good enough to get hired, let's put it that way, and it pays the bills. I mean, many people think it is an exciting job. It is not an exciting job. It is long hours, lots of boredom, lots of attitudes from people who should not have an attitude, because I'm trying to help you. A lot of artistic visions. Hey, those are all loose. All right. We might be real close. Get this guy out of here. I get real hungry. I actually feel my blood sugar dropping. Where are we at? Let's go here. There's a bunch of screws on the inside. I don't remember. I came off easy. That's not supposed to happen. Let's see if this one comes off just as easy. Oh, okay. All right. Maybe it's supposed to happen. Stuff's in the way. Come on, cookie. I don't have any cookies. Ah, I'm running out of space. All right, we can take this off while we're here. Let's get this motor over here. No screws there. These are bad design. It's a bad design. Down two motors. These slid in from the end. That's right. Those slid in. Bad design. That was easy. Is there something in the way? Let's get the end off. Get the end off first. Slide this guy out. Nope. So close. But no matter how far. You throw your back out? I was leaning over 3D printer. Ooh, a little light-headed there. It's loose, that's loose. No, guess that's out. There. This guy. Ow. Oh yeah, that's much easier. I wonder why. There we go. Those out. Yeah, it's almost gone. It took so long to build. This is also like pre-Fusion 360. I mean, it was out there, but everybody was using Tinkercad or like SketchUp, so it's like this would have been so hard to design in CAD. Can't get that out. Those are in the way. Slide it. There we go. Out. Out. Is all right. So close. Here. Oh lordy. There it goes. If you can't tell, I am downtown. Really don't know what it is about this. I'm just assuming it's the big parking lot right around the corner. Pay $30 for parking, and then you can show off your car goes vroom 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 vroom, and then you can afford new tires. Oops, no, let's go loosen them up. She's gone. She's dead. Dead, Jim. Oh, I miss you so much. Oh, no, I'm not gonna miss you at all. Oh. Get your shit, get out. Get out. No 3D printer for you. Right. That. Get back in there. We're down to pretty much one piece. Oh, so much dust. Part. This end. actually think we'll have enough belt left over from this guy to actually use on the Moron. How did I mount the belt to this? Oh, there we go. Hey. Lordy. Wheels. Oh, this monstrosity. Monstrosity. It held up though. That's all PLA, and it held up. It actually held up. Especially even when printing PETG. I was really surprised. All right, all right. Oh, Lord. Bruce. Over here. All right. What do I got? Yeah, how long is that guy? Oh, okay, cool. All right. What did we end up with? Just a rough estimate here. I'm not gonna sit through and make you deal with all the little bitty stuff. Got an extruder. Another motor. Got some MOSFETs. Hope if I didn't put that right in the way. What else is good? What else is good? Controller. No, we won't use that. End up using that. That. Trying to give myself enough space on my desk to even see what I got. And that pretty much looks like it. Except for pulleys, screws, that's all separate. So there we go. It is apart. You get to come back over here. We have ended up with 300 by 300 heat bed, plate, power supply, power to go in there, MOSFETs for the power to come safely out of a controller board, which should still work. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 motors. So that's going to determine some stuff, and one being extruder. So we're definitely going to have to get some more motors. We have some extra belt. We ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 3-foot 2020s. Then I have 2 that are big is this? Right over 27. I know this isn't a millimeter. 19 3/4. So we definitely got some extrusion we can use. We should have enough to build the basics of the frame. Getting down to how we're going to mount the heat bed, whether we're going to do Trident style or 2.4 style, that's still to be determined by the amount of motors that we have. So yeah, so next video we'll go through and start making a real detailed list of everything that we have and what we're going to need. I know I do have some more threaded rods, so that shouldn't be an issue if we're going to use a Trident. We have enough wheels. Who knows if those get used? Try to avoid that. Go with linear rails, but you never know. This might end up being half Voron, half Rolohan. So a Moron? Is that right? I don't know. So yeah, there we go. Let's come back over here to the desk. You can see how much crap is on the desk. Yeah, ton of parts. Ton of parts. That color's a little bit off. They're not that orangey. Yeah. So next stream we'll go through taking apart all this. Actually, most of this I'll take apart off stream. Then the next stream we'll go together and look through all the parts that we have, make a list, all of the good hardware we have, and then start picking through, figuring out what we're going to build. So, with that being said, I'm going to go have dinner, and I will catch you all in the next one when we build a Moron with a Moron. I'll have a good one.